Chris from Acting Out, and doing a little modification for my GoPro setup. One of the common complaints or problems with the GoPro is that the built-in battery for a GoPro doesn't last very long. This is the Hero 4, and the battery, on average, it seems like they last about a half an hour, and just not enough time really for a lot of stuff. So I add the backpack, so that just attaches on there. Goes in. This extends the life of your battery, so you got a double battery here. This does a lot of improvement. It gets you a lot more time, but still, if you're recording over a long period of time, it's not gonna really. I mean, you could be finding yourself switching out these things a lot. And let me just show you a tip of one of the things that I use to make this longer. I guess just in addition to the mod video that I'm going to be doing here. What I have is I got this off of Amazon as well. This is what's called a RAV Power. It's a smart battery, and what I do with this is I make sure I got this charged, and then also charge your backpack and your GoPro. You can do that by plugging in one of these two to make sure those are charged. But the thing I do with this is I've got the backpack, and I've got the regular battery that you can charge from here, and then I've got this RAV Power here that it can run a couple different devices on it. This is a charging port for it, and then also this is basically got a 2.4 and a 2.1 amp USB port here. So what I do, and this has lasted me, like I can go like an entire day running 2 cameras off this thing. The only thing I've ever had a problem with going an entire day is actually that my memory card runs out. I think that I had that happen once more recently. This right here is one of the standard ones that I use. It's a 64 gigabyte memory card. This is rarely ever filled up. I think the only time I had it fill up was when I forgot I had something else on there. I was recording. I ran out of space on it. But if I had that cleared out, it would have lasted me the whole day again. But even these two hooked up with this, this makes this GoPro last forever, because this keeps the batteries for the GoPro charged, and it can just keep going. So like I said, I've ran before, even just without the backpack. I've ran the RAV Power into regular GoPro, and it has literally lasted me all day in recording. Like when we're skiing or something like that, it lasted me an entire day of skiing without running out of battery. And so that's one of the things that I'd recommend to do. This right here, the way I do it, well, maybe I'll have to show you another time, just to not like cover too much on this one video. But I hook this up to here, and then this that just keeps all 3 of those charged and running. So what I'm doing now is, the dilemma I have is I run this. Here's my case for it. Take this off and get around to show you what I'm doing here. So you have to get, if you get a backpack, an actual GoPro backpack here, it typically comes with your waterproof case, and these are switch outable, so they switch out really easy. So that just slides in there, and with the extension here, that slides on the back and seals in there, and it makes it waterproof. So I have an actual GoPro one. It's actually this one, this GoPro brand, and it no problem sealing and stuff. I've used this underwater and I haven't had any problem with leakage at all. But here's the problem I have, is if you want to run a microphone off of a GoPro, it's got to be out of the built-in USB extension here. The problem is if you're running a microphone for this to give you better sound, then you can't run the charger thing into here as well. So the trick around this is, if you got a backpack, you plug your backpack in and hold it up like this, you can run the RAV Power, you can run your external battery into the backpack, and then you can plug in a microphone into here, and that way you've got these both continuing to charge, and you now have access to a microphone. So what I'm doing with this is setting this up. I'm actually going to do a similar modification in the future of this. I'm going to get a regular one, and I'm just going to cut out. This is one thing you won't want to be aware of. I use in these parts here, I'm just kind of building up and letting you know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So when I'm going skiing or different things like that, so it's not going to be underwater. So we're just keeping the snow and whatnot out. So when I'm doing this, what I usually do is I plug my battery USB into here, and then I plug this into here. to keep the battery maintained. And then you got all this open space here, and that can be, you get snow and water in there, and that can cause you a problem. So what I usually do, I got this from a tip from somebody online. Sorry, I don't remember who it is. I think a couple people have talked about it, but I plug this in here, and then I take this earplug stuff and I mash it in around here into all those corners, and sometimes I'll leave a little bit of a gap on top here in that spot here for the microphone. I'll leave that available there too, because the odds of the snow and stuff really getting there and causing a problem is pretty low. And so I plug that in, and then I put this stuff around it. It's a little bit more colored with lint now, but it's usually white stuff. You can get it Walmart or many other shops like that, just in the diving or in the swimming section, or in just like the healthcare section. That's where I got these from, is because it's basically like an earplug thing. And so, but that works really well, the stuff in here. There is a problem with doing it that I don't think anybody's mentioned before as they talk about this tip. I don't know if you can see this. I want to show you the effect that this has. If you can look at that in this area here, you can see that the plastic of the GoPro, the cover there, you can see that that's kind of wrinkled and whatnot. And so this ear stuff is having that effect on the material of the GoPro. It's not going all the way through. It's just a surface thing, so I'm okay with it. But that's what the effects it has. So what I'm going to do eventually, I guess give you a heads up on that, is I'm going to get another case with this, and then because I don't use this port here and I don't really need to take out that, I'm only needing this spot here, I'm going to, on a different one, I'm going to cut a new hole. But that leads to what I'm doing now. This has worked really well just as far as keeping it charged. I got another one of these. It's an aftermarket backpack extension cover. I got another one of these off Amazon, and to be honest, I just needed one of these, and this was the best rated one, and there were still some people that talked about how this seal around here doesn't seal completely. Now, if you're going scuba diving or something like that, I would definitely say go with the original GoPro one. They do seal better, unquestionably. So I'd say go with that. For what I'm doing, I just want to build up one so that I can take it. I'll use this underwater because I can't use the microphone anyway. But I needed to get another one so I can plug in the battery here and plug in the microphone here. So what I'm doing here is I think this was like $7 or $8 off Amazon. And so I stuck my camera in here. I put this together, put the camera in here, and then put the back up here. And then I matched up, and just with the edge of the point of a knife, I went ahead. I don't know if you can see this. I don't know how much it matters to you, but I went ahead and marked, if you can see that, some edging right around. I scratched in, yeah, you can see that a little bit. I scratched in the edge there of the space that I need to plug this through. And the reason why I'm not giving it as much space here, and the reason for that is this stuff sticks to the camera pretty well. I mean, I haven't had a problem with that sticking to the camera. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of having a big space right here where it's going to affect the texture, I'm going to go ahead and cut a hole, or make a hole in here for this cord to go in through. That's just going to largely fit the cord, and then I'm just going to put this seal between the plastic here and the cord here, to make it's not going to be waterproof. What I'm looking for more of a snowproof. So when we're skiing or something like that, I'm just worried about snow being able to get in there and then melting in there and working into the electronics and causing some damage that way. So we're not shooting for, this is not going to be a waterproof thing. It's going to be more of a water resistant snowproof thing, so that you can use your camera in the snow and stuff like that and just keep it protected. So that's the thing I wanted to show you at again. So I made the scratch here. I'm going to go ahead and likely set up a setup for my drill press or something. I'm going to drill a hole in there that size. I'm going to cut out this hole here, and I'll do that and then bring you up to speed and show you this. All right, just a little bit of update here. I've got a little vice clamp, or a little a drill press clamp here. I've wrapped not really wrapped, there's nothing underneath because I don't want it to shift around, but didn't want this to damage the plastic. So I've got that set in. I've got the right drill bit pricked out for the width of that hole that we're doing, just to kind of cut out the majority of the hole. This is actually in many ways kind of almost too small for a Dremel, for at least a blade. And so I'm going to start here with this drill bit. And one thing you need to know, especially if you're working plastic like this, there's a tendency for some people to to just jump in and crank that drill bit down on there, and you're more likely to catch it and break it. Sometimes that's depending on how strong your drill bit is, but it's just a better approach to when you're doing this, not to just crank this thing right down, but just to go down just a little bit of time, go up and down with it. And I'll show that to you here. So I've already started a little bit, and we're just matching up the hole with doing this. And this is just a cheap Harbor Freight, a used Harbor Freight drill press. Some people say that they're not really true here. That's what this is bold is to fix. But anyway, I've trued it all up. So I'm just showing you drilling through this so you don't harm your plastic. Like I said, it's wrapped around with the paper towel there to protect plastic, and show you finishing drilling through this. So like you can see there, you're just working through just a little bit at a time so you don't tear that up and get rough edges. It just goes smoothly through a little bit at a time, and that will get your hole going. And then you have two options here. You can go through, and I just cut one in the middle. You can adjust a little bit over more with the drill bit if you want to try to just get that further and get it more oval. Jerry rig that or whatever, work on that how you want it, but I think it's the best to just start out getting most of that out of there with the drill bit, and then going from there and carving the rest out. I think I'm going to actually likely try to, I've got some good drill bits here, and I might just, my experiment here, it's a little touchy to do this, but I'm going to fit that back down in there. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to try to just move it back and forth to try to take more edge off that. All right, let's have a look. Not making a lot of progress. What I was doing there is putting pressure on to go either side of the direction of the hole there, and then going up and down with the drill bit to try to get that. I'm not trying to get it perfect. I do want it to look good, but that technique didn't work there as much. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to line this up like that, and then I'm going to move it over just a touch, and try to just re-drill that part. We'll go a little bit at a time. All right, let's look. So if you, with one of these, I don't have a clamp for this. I need to get one. But so it might move just a little bit. Again, we're not looking for perfection here. What we're looking for is that this hole comes up to the top of that groove. So I did extend that hole. It shifted a little bit because it's hard to hold this. It slides around just a touch, but I mean, we're talking maybe a millimeter off here. Works good enough from what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this around to the other side. Get me lined up here again. So that's where normal is, and then we're going to go back just a touch and go at this again. Had a little bit of movement there. Reline, tighten it up, reline it up. Just a little bit at a time. Up and down. know we're through. We are through. Let's check this out again. Yeah, we're through. It's a little bit rounded, so I kind of like the roundedness a little bit compared to the square. You got some little plastic built up in there. But we're going to go ahead and just clean that up just a touch here. Run that bit down in there. Put this down in, and then I'm just going to move it back and forth. And that'll clean up those edges. Hands are a little cold. So let's have a look here. Some of that plastic spitting around in there makes it staticky and stick. And you got what I was trying to do too is avoid the foam piece on the back that sits inside. That holds the GoPro in a bit still. So I was just trying to, I'm going to get a piece here to just scrape out this extra plastic. Make sure that's all clear. And then we're going to pair this up. So give me just for a second, I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are. I'm going to give this a little bit of test out here. And it's a little cold out here. Got some heaters, but I didn't feel like I wanted to spend the energy and whatnot waiting for that to... This is a $7 aftermarket back piece. Yep, there we go. We're on. There's our hole. Make sure this fits in. It's going in solid. I don't think that that's hitting at all. I'm trying to see if that's hitting around the top edge here. I'm trying to see if I need to file down this area around here to fit the plug in. Make sure it's going all the way in. I'm going to plug it into my battery pack. The hole's pretty much exactly the right size, but I think we might be hitting some plastic on the sides. Small enough file to... We're just trying to round off that edge there. Give a little bit more space for that thing to sit down in there. And it's just on the sides. I think it's going in all the way. See, now I don't have as much gap around here. To show you that. I don't have as much gap around here and around here to fill in. So I'm not going to get the ear stuff in and touching the plastic, the GoPro battery itself there. This is just going to sit in, and then I'm going to take this goo here, wipe it off a little bit. We'll just take that goo, or this ear stuff, and we'll just pack it around like that, and that'll seal it. So there you go. Doesn't take much effort, doesn't take a lot of equipment. You can probably do this with a hand drill. You probably don't need a drill press. If you just got a Dremel, you probably can just get in there and kind of carve that out. Just some other options if you don't have this. But yeah, I can see that there's a lip right there. I can see that's going in, so I'm glad I cut that back because that was bumping there. I can see that's going in all the way now. So sweet. That's so there's a good hack for you. Between the battery, hook it into here, and then you can plug a microphone into here and have that running for your sound, and then you're bypassing, and then you'll fill this in with this ear stuff. But if you don't want to risk harming the plastic on your GoPro, the coating on your GoPro, this looks like it will, over time, I've been using this for a couple years, over time it will shrivel that up a little bit and lift up a little bit of a film there. It's not harming the GoPro at all. But if you want to avoid doing that to keep your GoPro in nice condition, I would say get another regular case like this, and go ahead and mark your spots and carve out more exacting space. Most people don't like how the GoPro sounds there anyway, the internal speaker. So I would say just, you know, carve this more around specifically, so you're just putting the ear stuff around the outside edge there to seal. Again, not for water, but if you're around snow and stuff like that and you just want the extra protection. Support the military, and that's why I kind of just let that go. But yeah, sometimes it gets in the way. It's okay. So I would say what I'm going to do in the future with this is I'm going to get another GoPro case here, just for these kind of conditions, to attach to this back, and I'm going to cut this closer. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to have a cover for that, because I'm not really switching that out. I could just disconnect it and take the whole thing out if it shuts down, if that fills up. But the main thing you're going to need is this part right here for plugging in your microphone. And so I think I'll get another case here, and I'm just going to, it's a solid one, and I'm just going to cut a hole just for that like I did there, and then we'll just put a little bit of stuff around there too. So anyway, just a nice hack there for the case to help you to keep your energy going, to keep your GoPro charged throughout the day. I would say you can get at least a day off of one of these, because I've ran 2 sets of equipment off this one battery before, one in each plug here. I've ran 2 sets of equipment with these in this way in the past, and I had them both running the whole day with this setup and with this here. Then you got double the footage there. So just wanted to show you that hack and that modification I was doing. Hopefully it helps you. Please like and subscribe. Like the videos if you like these. If there's any particular videos that you feel like you would like better, then let me know in the comments, and love to hear from that, and we'll see what we can do about throwing some videos in the kind of that you like the most. Please let us know, because we want to spend more time on doing the stuff you like. And yeah, any comments or suggestions or other thoughts with this, let me know. But this has worked really well for me. And please subscribe, and look forward to seeing you next video.